Hi, I'm Matthew Clark. You are listening to 11 O'Clock Comics.
Chimichanga.
Chang-a-chang-chang.
That means good.
I know. I'm a lyrical gangster. Excuse me, Mr. Officer. Still love me like that. Oh, relax, though, boy.
He's telling... What is that? 10 seconds into the recording, he's telling me to relax already?
Well, because you said, oh, boy, like a jerk-off.
How is that like a jerk-off?
Like a jerk-off.
Jeez, you got these names, these titles for people. You've bestowed on me a title of King Jerk-Off. Like, why?
You gave yourself the king. I didn't even make you royalty.
Well, if I'm going to be a title, I want the top.
You're just a peasant jerk-off.
I know. Plebeian jerk-off. Hey, everybody. It's 11 O'Clock Comics, episode 982. And I'm Vince B.
Woo, you are Vince B. I am David A. Price.
Indeed you are. And, of course, I am the Fox Mask Killer.
Why? Of all of them, why would you go with that
right?
one? Jeez. You're not the Fox Mask Killer. You're Jason Wood, everybody. Don't believe him. All together once again for a good old-fashioned episode talking about nothing but hot fire, magma, burn your fingers comics. It was a really good
Lava,
week.
Baby.
Yes.
It was a good week.
So
yes,
good.
Yes, it's been a fantastic week.
Brought to you by
more of these weeks.
cheapgraphicnovels.com. cheapgraphicnovels.com. One more time to the people way back in the cheap seats. cheapgraphicnovels.com. Have everything you want at the price you want to pay. Omnibus editions, manga, OGNs, trade paperbacks, art books, all those things and many, many more drastically reduced. There's a sale going on with books that are drastically reduced in price. And if you're a first-time customer, here's a little secret. I don't know if you know this. Place an order. Modest, make it kind of small. You will receive an email confirmation from Max saying, thank you so much for placing an order at cheapgraphicnovels.com. You reply to this email confirmation saying, I would never, ever have known the glory of cheapgraphicnovels.com if it wasn't for my buddies over at 11 O'Clock Comics. And Max is going to ring. He's got a little magic wand, tap you on the forehead, and you're going to get free shipping on your second order. That is an amazing savings. Just flat out amazing. Especially today, like media mail's like $10 for almost nothing. It's so stupid how prices on shipping are just getting more and more exorbitant. But that's not the least of it. There's also, that's not all of it. There's also specials.
Our specials. There are a few specials this week, including DC Finest Superboy, the Superdog from Krypton, $23.99. Among the historic tales collected in this volume is the first appearance of Krypto the Superdog, who remains a major part of the Superman mythos. This collection includes work from comic book legends like Otto Binder and co-creator of Supergirl and seminal Superman artist and Vince's favorite, Kurt Swan. This volume collects Adventure Comics.
Look at my barrel chest. I can't get through the door.
That's Wayne Boring. And Superboy 33 through 43. Marvel Fanfare Omnibus Volume 1. Hardcover, $59.99. There's two flavors. There's a Michael Golden cover, that first issue, and a Frank Miller cover from the direct market. In 1982, the comic industry was making rapid advances. The door to higher quality prestige titles had been opened, and Marvel Fanfare planted the flag, declaring it the place to be seen. The series gave industry's greatest creators, like Frank Miller, Barry Windsor Smith, Chris Claremont, Michael Golden, a chance to make singular statements on Marvel icons like Captain America, The Thing, and Spider-Man. New talents like Mike Mignola and Charles Vess could take their shot for an issue and gain breakout success. And groundbreaking talents like Bill Sienkiewicz could steal the scene with a gallery of pinups that redefine characters in a single image. Marvel Fanfare also boasted beautiful, fully painted stories and cutting-edge new innovations in coloring. Each issue was a bounty of artistic excellence and a statement on the future of comics. Marvel is proud to collect the complete Marvel Fanfare in this first of 3 omnibus volumes, collects the first 19 issues from this 1982 series. And finally, Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse and the Amazing Lost Ocean hardcover, 1874. One day, the realm was rocked by the arrival of a strange stone cube with untold powers. Brilliant Dr. Enmug wants it, but so does Peg Leg Pete's genius cousin, Portis. Can Mickey reach the cube before it makes the ocean itself fly to the sky and takes control of our hero's world next? The European writer-artist team of Denise Pierre-Felipe and Silvio Gamboni presented an incredible new Mickey Mouse graphic novel adventure, at once reflecting the golden age of comics past and illustrating incredible steampunk sights like no Disney fan has seen before.
No Disney fan has ever seen these before. See what we're talking about? CheapGraphicNovels.com has everything.
I got
Superheroes. Me too. I did too.
Things for Renee's birthday, but yeah, it was a nice little. And I got another one on the way with that Lost Marvels collection.
Nice. Nice. So just remember the URL. It's all you need to know. CheapGraphicNovels.com. Bam. You'll hear the angels sing when it loads on your browser. It's like, my goodness. Guess what? We have to give it up yet again. Big hugs, massive bear hugs, and a huge thank you to our new patron, Jason Fisher.
Yes, sir. Nation of Jasons representing.
So there you go. Thank you, Jason. Hope you enjoy what you're going to get for that. And we love you. Thank you. I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need it with you two assholes. It is George.
Now, okay.
George Killian's Irish Red. Lots of it.
Copious amounts?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
No, it's an it's a very enjoyable brew that I will not pay for the next day. So win-win.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, just as you're running back the same drink, I am running back that good old H2 to the Izzo, baby.
Boy. Straight out of a gold slipper.
He knows what's up.
Yep.
You know it.
My goodness.
I'm enjoying that Bardstown wheated whiskey.
Nice.
Wheat la coche.
Let me open another one here.
Yeah, you might as well go for it.
Damn, he's already in number 2. We haven't even talked about a book yet.
Yes. Let's talk about a book.
Double size, Jesus.
We got to get this. I don't want to get this out of the way. I want to revel
The best
in
number
this.
one. The best number 1 of 2025.
So far, yes.
Yeah.
Without,
sure.
yeah, I can't front on that. I have to agree with you. It is from the mastermind himself, James Tynion IV, with art by Michael Walsh and color by newcomer, atta-girl, Jordie Bellaire. It is called Exquisite Corpses #1.
Woo!
Yes. I have a lot of opinions. Jason, tell them what it's about. It's just a whole bunch of unsavory people doing really, really nasty things.
Oh, it's great, dude. It's great. It combines the, lots of lore, right? It combines this idea of the Illuminati, that there are 13 families. And there are people on the planet that really believe this, by the way, that there are secretly 13 families that have always run the world. And Vince is laughing because he's one of the people.
Wait, I was just going to say, wait a minute. You don't believe this?
Well, remember, I work for one of them, right? I work for the Rothschilds.
Exactly.
Right. And I mean,
so it is our blood debt to make sure we always dissuade people from believing in these things. But no, seriously though, the premise is that in this version of Earth that Tynion and Walsh was so wonderfully crafted, there are in fact 13 families that run the world behind the scenes, and although they've agreed to run the world together, because power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely, they have developed this plan where one to rule them all. So the way they do it is, rather than just fight each other for the ultimate seat at the head of the table, they have this ritual where every 5 years they basically do a blood sport of sorts, and each family is given a weapon, kind of like Clue. They are assigned a weapon from 13 weapons, and each of those families needs to find a champion who can represent that weapon in some form or fashion, and each of those 13 champions then every 5 years have a duel to the death, like a Hunger Games style duel to the death, and the winning champion, then whoever nominates them as the champion then becomes the head of the table for the next 5 years. And we learn all of this in this first issue, as well as the setup of where they're having the battle this time, which is this small town where they literally shut the town. They're so powerful, they literally shut the town down. Now, all the people are still there. A lot of them are going to get killed. There are side bets for how many people get killed. and we are introduced to some of the locals, who I assume will be our heroes of sorts.
Collateral damage.
Yeah, collateral damage. Like any horror movie, I'm sure most of them will die, but we'll be rooting for them. And then we meet each of the heads of the families as they arrive for the games, and then they do these wonderful, which is totally up my alley, as you guys know, getting the band together. We get an introduction of each of their nominated champions and what their art of death or their expertise is, and it's just fucking fun and fantastic.
Yeah,
and it plays into these belief systems and conspiracies that so many people have anyway. Just great stuff, man. I love the art. I mean, I've always been a Michael Walsh fan, but I don't think he's ever looked better. And again, I don't mean that to sound like an insult, because I think he's already a really talented dude. But this list looked fantastic. I love the pacing of it. I love the setup. I feel like for first issue we got to know a lot of characters, right? We got to feel like we've learned a lot about these people already.
Yeah.
Just win across the board, man. Just super fun stuff.
Parts of it are even like a fighting game. Because when they introduce the character, it's like you see them in their background with their weapon and their name, and they'll just do the pose, and they'll be like, they'll look at the player and be like, And there's a lot of that in here, where there's like maybe a half-page splash of each, or a third or a half of each character that will be combating in the arena. And it's just like, wow, this thing is... The thing that got me was, after I finished it, I thought about it, and I'm like, holy crap. Usually, when we're given a new series, right, it's seen through the eyes, or we're guided through it by someone, I don't want to say totally respectable, but someone with some kind of hook that would get us attached to them or this world. This book opens with the biggest shitheel in the book. And you don't know that until like maybe 3/4 or almost the way through. Sheriff Hill, he is a fucking asswipe.
Oh yeah.
He's a total shitheel, because he's like, okay, you're in a position of authority. You're the sheriff of this Oak Valley, this little sleepy town. You're the sheriff, and you basically sold the lives of every man, woman, and child in this town for a brand new life and $10 million.
Yeah, $10 million.
Yeah. So it's like, so their authority is worthless. Law enforcement in this little nook of this universe is worthless, right? And there's just, to me, there seems to be an abundance of characters that are making or have made really, really bad decisions. Like, I think Audrey's great, but you could tell that Audrey, I mean, based on her current place of employment and the fact that she's a punching bag for her boss, this Mr. Wen, a used car salesman. Wow, on the social economic ladder, used car salesman, man, you're not up too high, buddy. But he just treats her like a dog. He's like, no, you're not taking your son to trick or treat. You're working here, like, and she's battered and berated and just it seems like a terrible life, you know. And I mean, the list goes on. I think the one act that Sheriff Hill makes at redeeming himself when he leaves a note for his niece.
Yeah, for his niece. Yeah.
His niece Laura's an EMT, and all right, another bad decision, because she knows something's not right. The internet's down. My uncle leaves me this note, not a text, not a phone call, sends me a note to get the fuck out of town. Nah, I'm just going to keep doing my $20 an hour job and get back in the EMT. Like, dumb.
It's like, girl.
So dumb.
Come on, girl.
But at that point, I mean, she doesn't know.
She wouldn't have been able to
by that
leave
point.
anyway,
She did
yeah.
leave the town, so.
That's right. Yeah,
okay,
maybe
maybe her idealism will protect her from the bullets and the bombs. But no, it's just weird. Like, if my uncle sent me a note and said, buddy, you got to get out of town. You're my blood. And he is, whether she knows it or not, he's risking his life to give her this note. Right? She doesn't know that.
He can't do it once he leaves. He can't get back in touch with her.
But if she is found or captured, or they find the note, he's dead. Because they're like, look, we told you. You cannot contact anybody.
Yeah,
and you gave this girl a note. I'm sure they won't hesitate to kill him. Like, that's just one less loose end on their end, right? There's so many facets. What?
I'm saying if they want to play, if the people responsible for the game, if they want to follow their rules, the sheriff did not contact her after he left town.
Doesn't
Everything
matter.
was done before he took the money and left.
But
So,
they didn't know
yes,
that.
Well, he can't.
You think they're going to care?
If they're all about rules and fair play, I'm just saying. I
Absolutely.
I get what you're saying.
Ultimately, it's a moot. I think it's a moot point, right? The fact is, he gave her a letter, but she's
not going to use it anyway.
Again or not?
No,
Right.
she's not going to use it anyway. I don't see anything good coming of Sheriff Hill.
And remember, these are all collateral
If we see him
damage.
again.
I mean, the setting is just because they just don't care about people in general, and that's part of the but ultimately the goal of all this is just for these 13 badasses to kill each other. I mean, that's the real goal.
Yeah, and I love the opening scene is really special to me because Pumpkin Mike is a conspiracy theorist who's into the podcast, and he's spouting all this crapola, and Sheriff Hill's like, yeah. Meanwhile, Sheriff Hill has to be thinking, I'm talking to a dead man. Like, this guy is literally a dead man. And he's just like, no, man, this is how it is. The world is corrupt. We're all just bugs on the windshield. And you know what? In this situation, he's not wrong. So the conspiracy theorist is actually more clued in to what's going to happen. He doesn't know he is, but conceptually, he's more locked into the mechanics of this story than most people. It's so amazingly well done. Like, you have all these characters like Zavi and his boyfriend Craig, and it's like these guys Craig more than Zavi, but they just want to be helpful, and Craig wants to watch Audrey's kid Jason and be useful, and they're in love, and it's like, nah, how do I get my boyfriend not to go to this stupid party because I think it wouldn't be a good thing. They just want to live their lives, right? And then you have this fucking idiot, this Leopold, whatever his name is, who has like one of the worst shticks ever. The carnival, the strong man who can ring the bell.
With the giant hammer.
Yeah, like I'm all about showing you my testosterone with my giant hammer, and he's the first bitch taken out.
I love it.
Now
I mean, yeah. And, go ahead.
No, I'm in love with this book.
It's a really, really good first issue. I had no expectations. I went in completely blind. I aside from the creative team, which I know they can bring it, we're no strangers to James. I've, as Jason said about Walsh, this, as much as I love Justice League Black Hammer, this looks so much better. Yeah, it's a few years later, but I mean, it's a level up like that we've compared with other greats, and it's a beautiful looking book. Jordie's colors are phenomenal, especially with each intro of
the video game, almost like a video game title page of like this like real fluorescent, where everyone's got their own different font for their character name, and it's super fun. But like
who's who at the bottom half.
Yeah, each character is basically sitting around a bunch of carnage, like either like instead of just like standing there all triumphant like a hero you're about to play in the video game, they're like sitting there, standing there with like dead bodies strewn about based on how they kill people. Yeah,
you could tell based on design who's going to be the Golden Children. I think Lone Gunman is going to be.
Sure, yeah. The first issue was just all about her building him up.
Yeah,
right.
He's the reluctant one. He's not a psychopath. He doesn't want to do it. He's a disgraced. He doesn't want to do it. She has to talk him into it. But then, once he takes the job for different reasons than everyone else. He takes the job so he can get his
reinstated.
He's been disavowed because he was a special ops soldier, and something went wrong, and a bunch of people got killed. So she says, "Oh, if I win, I can get you your gig back." And then even in the first issue when he takes out the strongman,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't kill the kid.
No.
He doesn't kill the guy, right? Like he lets him go.
That's another thing that you didn't mention.
Yeah.
That some of a lot of the contestants, there's a game within a game. Yes, there's the game of which family can bring the best killer to the table, but within the game, there's also a mini game where each killer they have a contest of who can rack up the most kills. So it's not just achieving the goal of destroying all the other family's killers. It's how many people can I take out while I'm doing it. And that's why, for my money, I think Slater's going to be something to be feared. But because I don't know how good she is in close combat, but if you're messing with high explosives like that, you can take out a good chunk of people at one time. Mm-hmm. So my money's on Slater. For right now, it's only the first issue. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a couple of contestants that you can kind of guess that they're going to make it towards the later rounds. There's some that I feel are just going to be cannon fodder, which is fine. But yeah,
it's interesting because there's a bracket, right? It's not a free for all.
Yes.
There's a bracket, which I thought was interesting. So I don't know how that works, because if you come across one of the other people in your bracket, you're not allowed to kill them. I don't know how that works, but they do reveal a bracket, and it's 3 people in each of the opening brackets. So it's basically 3 sets of, or it's different sets of 3 versus 3. So it's interesting. I mean, it's again, I don't know if I would have done it that way. I would have probably done it more like a free for all, but they seem to have a great plan here, and I think for sure. The gunman is obviously going to make it very far, if not win the whole thing, or at least we're supposed to think that. But I would have thought that the woman on the horse would have been right up there as one of the finalists too. But he fights her next issue, per the preview of the. So I assume I think I was wrong in my initial conclusion there.
Unless she gets away, but I mean it's I'm. Bracket aside, I'm not trying to guess where anything's going. I'm strictly along for the ride. I got to see how this plays out, and it's unlike anything else we're reading by Tynion at the moment. It's not like World Tree. It's not.
I think it's a lot like someone who's the killing the children. I think it's a lot like that. Where you have different, he loves to do these little factions, marketable factions. That's what's in a lot of his books. You have like, okay, these are the families, or these are the houses, or these are the, you know what I mean? He's smart in that respect, where he can market this shit. He can not only make a story, but he could, all right, if you're down with the lone gunman, you can buy a replica of his mask. If you're down, you know what I mean? Like, that's just plain smart.
Yeah. Well, and we've got the game coming next year, if the ad in the back is what is to be believed.
Are you kidding me?
Jason's before con.
No
you
way.
Didn't see that?
I thought it was a card that you can cut out. I didn't think it was real.
2026.
Yeah, but is it tabletop role playing, or is it actually a video game?
No, I think
if it's a tabletop role playing, I'm fucking locked in.
Yeah. I think that's what it is, and yeah, because we can play at before cons when we get more Jasons. But the
watch Jason cry when he loses.
Is the featured image the candy corn panel?
No.
Damn. Okay.
No.
I thought when they were talking about the candy corn, I was like, oh god.
No, I was going to put that on the Slack, but I was just like, this is not true.
I know,
because believe it or not, there are people in this world that do love candy corn. Dap and I being two of them. Yes. It could be a corn. It could be a corn. It could be a pumpkin. It could be a fucking whatever. If it's made out of candy corn, bring it.
Here you go. Exquisite Corpses. The game is set to launch after the first season of the comic series finishes. Until then, readers can get their hands on exclusive cards by picking up cover C's of each issue, which will include a different killer card polybagged with each issue. We're so excited for people to play the game. We couldn't wait to get the cards in their hands, said Tynion. If readers are picking up the cover C variants, they will be able to start playing a streamlined version of the game as the series releases.
I don't know if I'm down for a CCG. No, I don't know. I already have one. I don't need more.
You do, and it is a passion.
Yeah, but I don't... This is something that might to me at least, feels like it would be self-contained. I don't know.
If it, yes, good call. If it's a self-contained thing where you can buy the box, play the game, not have to worry about even if there's like supplements to the box, I'm cool with that. I just don't want to have to buy fucking $8 packs of cards just to get what I want.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I thought this issue was so goddamn special that I'm still like a little tingly when I think about it.
Yep.
I like Walsh's work, and I don't want to demean anything that he's done prior to this, but I think like this issue is a leveling up of some kind of magnitude. Like again, that's not to say that all the stuff that he's done before is crap. Not true. But there seems like there's a magic synergy between Tynion and Walsh in this book where they're just like every panel is just working. So read into it, whatever you want to read into it. I think Walsh's work in this book is fantastic.
Yeah, totally agree.
I get such a kick out of the representatives from each state because, of course, New Hampshire's the fucking hippie dude. You got the blowhard from Jersey. You got the guy who just straight up looks like a racist from South Carolina.
How about Pennsylvania? In what kind of fucked up world would Pennsylvania have won? Like, what was our assassin? A groundhog?
Yeah.
Like,
and we should mention that the 13 like you just alluded, but the 13 families, each one of these families is from one of the original 13 colonies.
Yeah. And I can say that because I'm from Pennsylvania. So if you don't like it.
Right. Yeah,
right. But I'm saying, but that's the cool conceit is each of these families is they are not only the wealthiest, most powerful families in the world, but each represents one of the 13 colonies.
13 colonies. It's just a cool premise. Like it's a well thought out.
It really is well thought out. Yeah.
Extremely deep premise that you can enjoy the antics of just the bloodshed and the carnage, if that's the way you want to go, or if you want some chunky, chewable subtext that will feed your brain as well as your groin, then I mean this book has everything. It's freaking ridiculously good. It's sold out already too.
Oh, I figured as much.
Of course it is.
Yep.
Got to get the cover C's, yo.
It's good to see.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was North Carolina was the mullet and the mustache. South Carolina is the twin sister. South Carolina and Delaware is pretty hot. But yeah, it's just a fantastic first issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Just bless up, man. I feel fortunate.
Yep.
It's nice to see Tynion finally have a hit on his hand.
Yeah.
He's been struggling for so long.
Yeah, he's just been grinding, trying to just get his shot.
I don't want to tell you how to pronounce his name, but if the name of his company's Tiny Onion, I'm guessing the way you pronounce his name is Tynion.
No, it's James. It's James Tynion IV.
Then why would he name his company Tiny Onion?
Because phonetically,
the letters are there.
Phonetically, it's like.
I'm not buying that. I think his name is Tynion.
Well, I mean, you also thought it was Magneto, so we're good. I mean,
but I'm right. See, in both instances, I'm right.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Really not though.
No, it is.
Yeah.
One of them we know for sure you're not.
It's true.
It doesn't matter. Charles Xavier.
It doesn't matter how they pronounce it in the cartoons. It's Magneto.
Superman.
Oh, speaking of Superman,
Cork cunt.
Why we're on the subject, or we will be on the subject. Did you see the trailer?
No.
The new longer one? Yes, I did. Yeah, and it's probably going to be the last, unless they play it again before Thunderbolt Saturday.
Feel free to speak on it though. I'm not like avoiding it.
No, I mean it's mostly superficial. I hate the costume. I hate it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Why do we need texture?
Dude, Hollywood is super worried about this film, by the way. Like
what
they
is,
are like
really?
Hollywood is super worried about this film. Like it is on all like I listen to a couple, Hollywood podcasts, and they all have picked it to be their big summer flop. Like they all think it looks horrible. So
it's the collar, it's the texture, it's the piping on the shoulders. I just don't like the costume.
I dislike. I understand why, but I dislike when they stray from the traditional S shield. I get it. They don't want to make it angler or just, but it's just something about seeing those two yellow fishes, and I need that red and yellow traditional shield. But Vince isn't wrong. You've got the piping, you've got like just these little. It's
the boots are
it's
horrible
extra for no reason. It's just granted, there's
crypto though.
Yay.
Crypto.
Yay.
Yes, yay.
Yay.
Comparing it to, Christopher Reeves from back in the day, of course, that's going to look plain and drab, but it works. It's
if a
flat blue,
skinny, muscular dude could pull off just plain fabric, why can't this guy do it?
What exactly? And he does look good. I mean, he's not Henry Cavill, but he does look good.
Sure,
he looks like a good Clark Kent. He looks like he could be a Superman that can grow. But even when they brought back when Singer decided to kind of remake it, and they brought Brandon Routh in, and that had like little diamonds all over the suit, and it's just like why can't you just? I know we're watching things in HD and everything is supposed to be super detailed, but it doesn't need to be.
They totally did that to Spider-Man too, with the fucking texture and the scaling in the costume. Like, it's unnecessary. Mm-hmm. But the thing that has me the most worried, and coming out of the gate, if anybody has proven themselves in these kind of movies, it's James Gunn. Mm-hmm. Right? I think he does really good work.
Sure.
I'm a bit concerned about the dialogue between Clark and Lois, because she calls him out on a lot of things, and I don't. I did see that part. I don't know what the context is or where it appears in the relationship. Like, it could be early on in the relationship, or it could be him being Superman early in his career. I don't know where it falls in the timeline, but the fact that he gets hot under the collar is not a good thing, because if anybody should know that he's got to watch his temper and he's got to be measured and reasonable and sensible, it's Clark Kent. Because if he gets fucking pissed off, he could take the building down. Mm-hmm. Right? You know what I mean? So it just, that scene to me was just like, whoa, you need to dial it back, my dude. You're getting a little bit too worked up. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to judge because it's a trailer. And who knows how that scene plays out. He could just sit down and say, what the fuck am I doing? I can't do this, because if I do, I could split the planet. Like, maybe that's the resolution to that scene. I don't know. But the fact that he gets hot because he's being called out by a sensible person that's alerting him to the fact that you have all these powers, but you're not like the world's cop. Like, you gotta consult authority. And so I don't know how it works, but I was just a little bit side eye on that. Just whoop, let's see where this goes.
Especially, but again, here's that but your thoughts were very similar to mine, because she obviously knows. If she knows they're the same person, it's like, so when did this happen? Why are we automatically just jumping right into them having? Which is fine, we've had, it would
make no sense for her not to know.
We've had plenty at this point. We've had plenty of movies where we've relived Uncle Ben getting killed. We've relived the pearls fucking falling off the necks. So it's okay to move past Clark scooping Lois on some big interview.
Yeah, nobody wants an origin story at this point,
right? So if we're already in an established relationship with these characters, and maybe we'll get flashbacks during the credits or something of how he came. I'm not, but yeah, I really, really, really want a good Superman movie. And we've had Superman movies that could have looked good, but the stories were shit. So I'm optimistic.
I'm also concerned, like, do we really need Metamorpho and Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific? Like, come on, it's a lot.
Like you said, I mean, Gunn is. I give faith in that, right? Like,
I do.
Gunn's good with the ensemble.
I'll support him.
So.
Yeah. I mean, look what he did with fucking Peacemaker. Peacemaker was pretty much one note, and he turned it into something great.
And
season 2's coming.
And that's season 2, and you're gonna have Crossbones in Peacemaker, and he's also in the Superman movie, and you've got and Guy Gardner, because there's a whole
Tertullian.
Tertullian.
He looks fucking
Wait, with the
ridiculous.
bow leg?
He looks ridiculous.
Great.
Guy does look ridiculous. Though.
No, see, Guy should not look ridiculous. That's but he's not.
I want the Big Joe Staten moon boots.
Oh, that would be so great.
Oh,
yeah. But I mean, it's nice that there's the Green Lantern Corps is established in the DC universe. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's do that movie right this time.
The Space Cops.
Yeah.
I wonder if it ties into anything with what Tom's doing with the GL show.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, very well could. Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. So I mean, there was more great comics this week. What else do we have?
Well, I'm not going to say this was great, but I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I can't remember what it was, but I remember maybe it was like a year ago now. But there was a silly Marvel comic, like a kind of like one of those third or fourth stringers that you wouldn't read unless you were a fan of the characters. And I remember you were very giddy about it, Vince. And I'm sure we've had millions of examples between the three of us over the years. You know, it's like a book that is definitely like, unless you're reading all of Marvel or DC, you're not going to even notice the book unless you care specifically about the characters involved, and there's some niche that does. And that happened to me this week because I, there was a time, as you guys know, in my life where I pretty much read or tried to read every Marvel comic, and that time is long past. And I was just noticed almost randomly that there was a collected edition of the first volume of Avengers Assemble, and the name of the volume is Avengers Assemble: The Serpent Scenario, Volume 1. And of course, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, are my boos in this? So I dove in, and okay, first of all, props to the creative team. Written by Steve Orlando, which again, full disclosure, is not generally a draw for me. So that wouldn't have lured me in. And it's a 5-issue limited series, or a 5-issue arc, and each of the issues was drawn by a different penciler. Again, not ideal. You've got Corey Smith, solid hand; Scott Eaton, solid hand; Marcelo Ferreira, Valentina Pinto, and Jose Luis Suarez. Those three, not as familiar. I wasn't as familiar with them going in. But either way, I was like, okay, I mean, I so rarely get Serpent Society stuff that I will read anything that's got those characters in it because it doesn't happen often. So I dove in. It's stupid fun. I had a blast with it. It is, because it's like everything I like about this stuff, right? First of all, it's a new team of Avengers that Steve Rogers is putting together. So you guys know, love getting the band together. And I think, like most of the time for me with these super teams, my ideal setup is some core classic members that you're happy to see, and then some unexpected members. And they hit that right. The membership. Cap, okay, makes sense. Photon, Monica Rambeau, makes sense. Former leader. Wasp, again, makes sense. One of the former leader of the Avengers. She-Hulk, Hawkeye, again, two people, very constant fixtures in the Avengers. Then we get Shang-Chi, which he's been an Avenger before, but for a brief period of time. Living Lightning, again, former Avenger, but for a very brief period of time, many, many years ago. Wonder Man, Simon's back. Hercules. Lightspeed, a.k.a. Julie Power of Power Pack fame.
Holy shit.
Yes, and Night Thrasher, a.k.a. the skateboarding superstar of the 90s. So I'm with that. Like, I think that's just fun, right? It's a fun, unexpected group of characters. I'm cool with that. And the premise is that this takes place right after Blood Hunt, and Cap just wants a group of Avengers that can respond to emergencies quickly, etc., etc. And each issue is twofold. On one hand, each issue is them kind of fighting villain of the week, right? So the first issue, they go and do battle with Sin, Red Skull's daughter, who's got this new mystical mask that's making her essentially feed off of people's hate and makes everyone around her hate, and it's spreading. The next issue is Red Ghost and his super apes. The third issue is the Night Stalkers, who are a bunch of vampire killers, and it's kind of an interesting twist. They're laying siege to a town of vampires, where like these vampires are post Blood Hunt living in this town together and living like a judicious life. They're not killing humans, right? So they're kind of trying to do the right thing, and the Night Stalkers are there just to lay waste to them. So the Avengers have to intervene there. The fourth issue is Victorious, who is Doctor Doom's former love interest. Takes place in Latveria. And then the fifth issue is the big battle with the Serpent Society. Now, under the undercurrent for all of the first four issues, though, is that the Serpent Society's got something brewing, and they are using these bigger occurrences that are happening with each of those other villains. And under the cloud of that, they are coming up on loot. They're stealing a bunch of things from across the world with the idea of making this thing called Serpent's Tear, right? Some kind of mystical potion called the Serpent's Tear. And the Serpent Society is being led right now by, Viper, not the female Viper, the original male Viper, Jordan Strike. Only he's going by Pit Viper now. And he is doing all of this under the guide of Mephisto, which I love because, again, that ties right back into Avengers history and lore. And they are trying to make these serpent tears, which will essentially let them poison huge swaths of humanity, and Mephisto is all about that because it'll mean more souls for him to take and all that sort of thing. So again, the premise is classic superhero. It's not that important. It's just fun stuff. And for me, where I really marked out, guys, is that we got not one, but two new fucking Serpent Society members.
Oh my goodness. Somebody picked up a rock.
Oh no. We have... Oh, stop.
That must be your birthday.
That's hurtful. That's so hurtful.
Dude, snakes live under rocks.
We haven't had new... I know. We haven't had new Super Snakes to join this team in a minute.
I'm happy.
So we've got Tiger Snake, and he looks actually a lot like Shang-Chi. He's I think he's actually from Kunlun, but he's like a normal looking dude, a martial artist dude with like all kinds of like snake tattoos on his body, but pretty cool. And then the last one, which is pretty silly, but it's fun because it's superheroes, is Titanoboa, who's this giant megalith, like the size of like 5 times the size of the Juggernaut. Just this gigantic, like over, just super badass, like tank, And, dude, I fucking loved every second of this goddamn miniseries. I was marking out, watching the Serpent Society do their thing. And I gotta give Orlando credit, man, just like he's been doing in Scarlet Witch. I think he's kind of figured this whole thing out finally. The characterizations were great. I felt like the banter between the characters were on point.
Yep.
It was the same kind of like dialogue that I enjoyed when I was, when the Avengers were at their best. So I just thought he hit all the right notes. Now, got to be fair here. I didn't think the art was, as is often the case with Marvel these days, I didn't think the art was a big selling point.
Right.
I think, in particular, some of the issues were lesser than others. I will say, overall, I didn't think the art was jaw dropping, and particularly with having, if you're going to have 5 different artists, I think you should try and have similar styles, and I think each of them have very distinct styles, and that felt pretty jarring. So again, I mean, forewarned is forearmed. Listen, let me be clear. This is not something that's going to be on the 11 O'Clockers. This is not something you guys need to check out because I liked it. This is not something listenership should run out and check out unless you are just jonesing for a good, quick, in and out Avengers story, and or you like the Serpent Society. Now, those are 2 of my favorite things, and I haven't had them in a while, so I was here for it. It's the perfect thing for me, but it is definitely niche. But I got to tip my cap to it because didn't even really pay attention to his existence. And had they not titled the collection appropriately and put Serpent in the collection, I would have ignored this for time immemorial. So,
well, they knew. They knew. We got to get Wood's attention. I have to co-sign your props to Orlando because all of the 2099 stuff he wrote was really good. If you can get me to read a book featuring the Scarlet Witch, not just an issue or 2, but follow the whole damn thing. Like, I think that's a major feat. And it's because he realizes, and he's very adept at translating these characters' voices and personalities into ways that we as longtime readers, we understand. I just think he's very good. I look at some of the names coming out of Marvel, like the writers, and it's just like, oh, this is a hot book. And I don't want to shit on anybody.
Sure.
But I think Orlando is better than most of them in the sense that, he doesn't get the limelight that a lot of other guys get and women. But I think he's very, very good at giving the Marvel reader what they didn't know they needed in the first place. Like I think he's very good.
Yeah, again, I don't feel like I've read enough of his last few years' work because I kind of avoided him to say whether I'm totally on board him being like legit good. But I will say, like you said, I have read The Scarlet Witch, at least the first 12
It's really
issues,
good.
and I thought it was good, and I thought this was fun. Again, this isn't Eisner stuff, but it's fun and on point for the characters, which is really all you want when you're dealing with these nostalgia characters. We want them to feel like the characters we've already loved. And so hat tip to Orlando, man. He's rounding into form.
If you're a fan of the 2099 stuff from way back, his current stuff is just like, here, I love you. You'll enjoy this, and it's just good. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm happy when you read something that gets you excited.
Yeah, it sparked joy, man. That's what comics are all about. I really wasn't. I honestly hadn't. I did not expect to be talking about this book, and this all happened pretty much today.
That's good.
Like, I came across it, I was like, oh, let me read this. I read it, and I thought, oh, shit, look at this. So, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Fun, unexpected little
I love it when something drops in your lap on recording day, and you're just like, oh, well, I got to reshuffle my plans here.
You about this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tap, what are you loving?
The one thing that I was looking forward to this week, I forgot it was coming out this week, but so Campbell Supergirl, which was just this was one of those things that just hit me just right. The art's a lot of fun. It's open. It's whimsical in a way. She's dealing with covering for her cousin because he's been exiled from Kandor. So she's got to make her rounds over there. Her parents call. She's not looking forward to it, but maybe she'll go back to Midville and spend some time with her mom and dad. And that doesn't really go according to plan. But what Sophie does here, and she's planting seeds. She's picking up on threads from the past. There's a bit of a Silver Age feel with this issue. We've got so many thoughtful moments. I so much love it. I was really, really happy with this first issue, and you don't. I mean, there's no editor notes or anything like that. So I mean, anything that Kara is thinking about or recalling, you kind of just have to go along with it. So it really is a solid jumping on point if you're not familiar with anything that had to do with whether it was the Peter David series from back in the day or when she was just alien goo during the Triangle era, or just whatever version you have of Supergirl, you can really just jump in with this first issue and go on the ride that Sophie Campbell is taking you on. Even the whole mistaken identity and doppelganger type of shtick that happens here is just, for me, just another callback to the previous ages in comics. I liked it a lot. I thought the colors are great. It's another good looking book. I was just really happy with it. And so this was kind of, once I knew it was out this week, this was the one book I was looking forward to. And I wasn't disappointed at all. And then of course everything else we read this week just kind of blew me away because like we said earlier, it's been a fantastic week. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with Supergirl in Sophie's hands, and I don't. I'm trying not to think about when Sophie worked on the Turtles and how it looked great, and then Sophie just stuck to writing, and I'm sure maybe if this isn't a limited series, then I guess maybe we'll get the first arc and then maybe a comparable artist, I'm guessing, and Sophie will continue to write it. But yeah, I thought it was I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know what everybody else is thinking, but for me, this was what I wanted. This hit me just right.
Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I am too.
Yeah.
You're a big Sophie Campbell fan, Vince.
I am. Yes. I think she looked great. in this issue. I thought the visuals were very attractive, very a little cleaner than I like to see Sophie's line, but yeah, I thought visually, I thought the issue was a winner. I won't be back for issue 2.
Sure.
I thought
it definitely had an all ages feel to it, which again is not a bad thing. And maybe it is I didn't like, maybe it's marketed that way. I didn't, but I was a little. Okay, yeah, I was a little taken aback by to me it felt and looked like very much like an all ages book. I guess cue the hate mail. I'm not a fan of the doppelgangers look. I don't.
That's what got me too.
I'll leave it at that. But
yeah,
because in years past I might have gone a little rant and people would have hated me for it. So I'm just going to say.
You mean the physical look of the? Oh no, I got no problem. I just the whole concept of
you and I are the same, Vince.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's just the whole concept of the swap and the missing memories of everybody she knows. Like, I don't care how it happened. I don't care what the resolution is. I was just bored by this issue.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Wasn't for you. For you.
Okay. I mean, it looks phenomenal. I mean, Sophie can knock the hell out of a page, and she does it 20 whatever times in this thing. So I think it looks phenomenal. This
is more. I think the way to characterize it to people that are like, this is more Gem and the Hologram Sophie than Turtle Sophie.
Maybe. I mean, good drawing is good drawing, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of.
I just mean tone. A tone. It's it's cleaner. It's a little lighter hearted. It's.
I tell you what,
from a vibe perspective,
I do like the boots thigh high though, like that.
A fan of the thigh highs.
That works for me. That works for me.
Yeah.
But good. Yeah, I wish Sophie great luck with this book. I mean, it sounds stupid and trite, but not. Every book is not for everyone. And this, this was.
Oh, hell yeah, we do that every week.
Yeah, just okay. Here we go. And I don't want to, rain on Dap's parade because Dap loved it, and I totally expected him to love it.
Me too. Too. I would have been real surprised if he said because I knew he was excited for it. I would have been real surprised if he came in and said, it wasn't what I was hoping.
Yeah. I don't know if I should bring the room down, but
we have plenty more to bring it back up. We'll bring it back.
Okay. This is a veritable classic, done by one of the very few comic book creators that could be considered a master, a god, even. In fact, there's a book about his history called God of Manga, and this thing is written and drawn by Osamu Tezuka.
Oh, now you have my attention.
So when you say Tezuka, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? If I didn't read this week, I didn't really want to put it up against Exquisite Corpses. Exquisite Corpses is the best new thing I read this week, but this book is the best thing I read this week.
Oh, you said you were going to bring us down.
Listen.
You mean like emotionally? You didn't mean like I'm going to talk about a book I didn't like. See,
no. Emotionally, this book. I mean, normally, usually, when someone thinks Tezuka, they don't think downbeat to an extent, and they don't think brutal and uncompromising and bleak. But that's everything this book is. It's called Apollo Song, and it's written and drawn by Osamu Tezuka, with cover design by Chip Kidd. And Chip fucked up. Yes, he fucked up because there's an Obi strip on this cover, but the strip is tacked. The book also has French flaps, so the Obi strip is tacked to the flaps, so it doesn't come off. And when you're reading it, when you open the book, you have a gap between the cover and the Obi strip, and it's just like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, why would you tack it to the inside of the cover and the inside of the back cover? You can't move the strip. it's so weird. And like if it was just removable, then all problems would have been solved, but it does not move. So therefore, when you have the book opened, there's a gap between the cover and the obi strip that's just uncomfortable. It's weird. It doesn't feel good holding this book. It's a massive book too. It's like 550 pages. It's up there. It's a big book. Published by Vertical, by the way. But yeah, so Chip Kidd fucked up again. But it's a story of a young man named Shogo. Dap is going to tap out as soon as I get it.
Because he's an annoying teenager or something?
He is that too, but...
He brutalizes animals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Shogo was born to a very promiscuous mother. Yeah, to the point where he didn't know who his father was, and every man that would come to the house, he'd be like, "Oh, it's Big Nose Daddy," or "It's Square Jaw Daddy," or "It's Nice Hair Dad." Like the kid had no idea who his dad was, and he walks into his mother and one of her boyfriends in the act, and the kid's just like traumatized, right? But the mother is not. It doesn't explain the kid's actions, but it does add to them, or it adds to the reasons why he does what he does. The mother does not devote a whole lot of time and attention to the boy. And so he grows up down the juvenile delinquent path. And basically a serial killer in training, because he brutalizes animals, but not just any animal. Like if he sees a cat, he's not going to brutalize a cat. If he sees two animals showing love to each other, like a male and a female showing love, he will kill both animals. He will rub them from existence. There's a scene that is absolutely horrifying. But this is the thing, it's drawn in Tezuka's style, so it's clean and it's clinical and it's borderline Disney-esque, and I that's the last time I'll mention that word name in association with Tezuka, but you get what I'm saying. Like all of his flora and his fauna are very stylized in a way that they could be perceived as cute to the untrained eye, and they are cute. So there's these two birds, and they're lovey-dovey, and a snake comes up to the nest. And the mother bird guards the eggs while the father bird goes and battles the snake. And you're thinking, wow, this massive snake and this bird is not too long for this world. But the bird kills the snake. The male bird kills the snake, but at the expense of his own life. So he crawls back to the nest, and he's dying, and he just wants to touch his loved one last time. And Shogo picks up a rock and bashes the fuck out of both the male, the female bird, and all their eggs. Like that's this kid. But is the remorse in the panel where he's looking at the product of his actions? There seems to be a little bit of remorse in his eyes, but that may be just me reading into it. But so here's the deal. So Shogo is inducted into a psychotherapy unit with Dr. Inoki. So he's subjected to electroshock, hypnotism. There are times when he just gets a good old-fashioned knock on the head, and every time that he's subjected to these procedures and or pitfalls, he goes into this other mindscape where initially he meets this goddess, right? And she curses him. She says, here's the deal. For all eternity, you shall be reborn, you little shit. And you're going to find love with the same woman, but in every instance of your life, before the both of you are truly united, one or both of you is going to die. This is your punishment. You have no capacity for love. You reach out and you destroy things that display this emotion. You are going to live an endless cycle of birth and rebirth finding a person that you love, learning to love them, and then they're going to be taken away from you. This is your life. And he's like, yeah, whatever. But he's quote, mentally projected into this mindscape where he's a Nazi soldier. Mm-hmm. And he's in charge of guarding a train car of Jewish people on the way to the concentration camps. And he looks into the car, and there's a young Jewish woman, and he's instantly smitten with her. To the point where he risks his life to help her escape. And she does. She escapes, but he falls asleep in a field. He chases after her, falls asleep in a field, and he puts his gun by his side, and she takes the gun, as anyone would do. He's a Nazi soldier. And she fucking blows the shit out of him. And he's dying. He's like, why did you do that? She says, you killed my mother and father. You people are terrible. Like, what did you, like, no. And so, 2 other Nazi soldiers come and they try to rape her. They manhandle her, they abuse her, they take her clothes off, and Shogo kills them. And she's like, why did you do that for me? And they both die in the field. And then, like I'm saying, it's bleak as fuck. But then he's a castaway on an island. He was a pilot, and he's doing these fancy schmancy, aerial maneuvers just to get the goat of this female photographer that's with him who wants to get cool photos, but he ends up crashing. And they both make their way to the island, and it's an island populated by rescued zoo animals. And he comes up to a rabbit. He's like, okay, I guess dinner's all sorted out. He beats the fuck out of the rabbit, and the mate of the rabbit looks at him, and it's like, he can tell that there's something not right. So all of the animals gang up on him, and it's just like, the status quo here is the animals have learned to not kill each other. And he learns, right? And the woman wants nothing to do with him, but eventually they love each other. And in each instance, the woman has the same exact face as the one in the previous incarnation. It's not a very easy read, but it doesn't end all that well. It really doesn't, but there's a sort of upbeat ending, but it's couched in death. So I mean, if you can extract some kind of the thing is, it's Tezuka, who's a master, an absolute master. He approaches the subject with like this clinical, matter of fact distance between the subject and the actual, like there's copious nudity in the book. It's all over the place, but there's no titillation. Like, he doesn't draw the women in a salacious way or like a promiscuous way. Even the mother, she's just a woman, right? And there's extreme violence in this book, but it's not exploitative. I don't know how to, it's as if he's not looking at the symptoms of why Shogo acts this way. He's looking at the cause, right? So all of these things are necessary in detailing why this kid became what he became, but he doesn't dwell or revel in them. They just are. And it's so masterfully done, but yeah, Dap wouldn't make it too far. But it's a really Shogo. I won't spill the beans because I think you should read it. There's an extended sequence where Shogo's a citizen of the future, where synthetic organisms dominate, and the queen of the synthezoids finds something about him that's attractive, and he wants nothing to do with her. In fact, he's a member of the resistance. He's trying to kill her, and eventually, in this future, they can clone, because they're synthetic, they can clone themselves. And so the queen keeps cloning herself, and Shogo keeps killing her and killing her and killing her. She keeps cloning herself. But there's a point where she's cloned, but they give her spitefully. There's this prime minister that really hates her and wants her job. He wants to rule, and he clones her with this very ugly face, and that's when Shogo falls in love with her. So he's not in love with the physical aspect of this woman. He's in love with the essence of the woman, and then it goes to shit. So, I mean, if you're in the mood to read something that has a lot of substance, a lot of thought seeds, right? That is going to really get you thinking. And what does it mean to love? Do we love the physical form of the people we love, or do we love the essence, or do we love and this is a really good book, but I don't think it's going to, it's going to be a hard sell to get a lot of people to read this thing, because it's just so downbeat. But I thought it was wonderful. Regardless of the darkness and when you say Tezuka, you don't think dark, right?
Sure.
You think Astro Boy, right? And I mean, there's a sliver of darkness in I think all of Tezuka's work, but you don't just think like a guy. There's one scene where Shogo's talking about this cat that he came upon, and the cat had, I don't know if I should say this because Tap's going to just tap out, but the cat had babies, right? Little tiny kittens. And the cat felt that Shogo was going to threaten the lives of her children. So to remove them from the horror of being killed by a predator, she eats them herself. That's a scene that I don't think, when I think Tezuka, I don't think that kind of stuff. I mean, this book's brutal, man. It is just, it's
it's like Junji snuck into
the
studio and just drew
but it gives you something to think about. Yes, it's horrifying, but it's not. Again, it's not very explicitly done, but it's done enough where you can completely understand what's happening, and it's shattering at the hands of a master artist, where it's minimal lines and you're just like, holy shit, how does this guy eke out this kind of emotion in me? You can't be unmoved by this book. If you read it, it's impossible to not be moved in some direction. And that's just I think that's the sign of a true master. And I don't even think both of you would argue with me that Tezuka is one of the true masters of the medium.
Oh, of course. Well,
yeah.
100%. For sure.
Yeah. But I mean, this is not, and it's done in one. It's a massive volume from Vertical. And it's called Apollo Song because the mythology of Apollo does play into it, where Apollo stumbles upon a maiden and he falls in love with her and she wants nothing to do with him. And her father was a very powerful god and turned her into a laurel tree. And that's where the laurel headband comes from, where Apollo carried this woman with him for the rest of his life on his head, where her memory was always present in him. She didn't want him, but he wanted her to the point where she was in his heart every day of his life. And to reflect that, he wore the laurel headband. So yeah, it's a great book. And there's Easter eggs in it. Tezuka inserts one of Tove Janssen's Moomin characters in one scene. I was like, wow, I didn't expect to see that. It's a great book. 1995? Yeah. 550 pages. I think it's still in print. Apollo Song. Osamu Tezuka. Go read it if you're brave.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, you can't sell this to there's a lot of people that would not.
Sure. Well, like we were saying, that's different boats for different captains, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
What else?
Well,
looks like Jason and I. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. By all means, you were going to say something.
I was going to say looks like you and I finished the Black Canary Best of the Best series.
Yes. Yeah, we did. Yes. Yeah. I mean, what else? No. I don't I don't have anything particularly pithy or insightful to say about it in the sense that it largely went the way I expected it to go.
Yeah.
Which, in and of itself, isn't a criticism, but I was a little surprised because, listen, I'm unapologetically a Tom King fan. I think it's well earned. He's not just a friend, but I think he's a fantastic writer. And I think this is, in many ways, another well-written Tom King story. But I generally feel like we have some kind of twist or tweak to the lore or an unexpected swerve or two, which makes Tom's stuff stand out from the pack. And for me, this was pretty straightforward, right? I mean, it was a 6-issue series where Black Canary is fighting in an MMA style battle against Lady Shiva, right? Lady Shiva, right? Am I right with that? Yeah. And they're fighting, and she's made a deal with Vince's favorite DC villain, everyone's favorite Cro-Magnon. For some reason, he says if you take a dive in the 6th round, I can cure your mom of her terminal cancer. Of course, many people listening will know that Dinah's mom was also Black Canary. She's a legacy character. And we get interstitial, the story, the narrative keeps switching back between those 3 moments. The moments when she's training and relating to her mom and her mom's sickness, and also her mom's her toughness and her mom always pushing her to be her best. We dance back and forth between that and the battle itself, and I guess spoilers. I mean, people are like, well, what weren't you surprised about? I mean, spoilers. I think Dom wants us to think she's going to take the dive for her mom, to save her mom, and then in the penultimate, or in the 6th round, she's about to. She's actually on the ground saying, "I surrender." She's saying, and she remembers something Ali told her about basically never giving up until you're dead, and jumps up and whoops Shiva's ass and basically knocks her out and is about to win. So you think, oh, okay, the swerve, I guess we're supposed to think, the swerve is that she's willing to let her mom die of cancer because she can't quit and give up, and that's what her mom would want. But then, lo and behold, despite her having Shiva knocked out and on the ground, she puts up her arms in victory and says, "I surrender," very loudly, and gives up. She does surrender, even though she's very much clearly won the fight. So it's kind of like a little monkey's paw, I guess a positive monkey's paw. She technically did surrender and thus gets her mom cured, but in a way that anyone watching the ordeal would have, been perplexed as to why she said she surrendered, but certainly would have viewed her as the winner of the fight. So, but it kind of like it all felt like, oh yeah, well that makes sense, and it's very much on brand with the character as we know her, and certainly is the way that we were taught to see her in this book, So it was well done. It was well drawn, but it was a pretty slight story, honestly. Like 6 issues felt a little egregious for what it was, I thought.
I think if it was a straightforward linear tale, it would have felt way more slight. The fact that he played around with the narrative definitely helped, and it added to the tension, because we get some flashbacks with where Dinah was younger and Mom was out on patrol, and so we get to see the old lady do her thing. But I did appreciate. I was also thinking about it after I finished it, where had Black Canary actually taken the victory, then she has to basically be the single most badass woman on the planet, taking on all comers, and that's fine if Shiva wants to do that. That's great, but obviously Black Canary has other responsibilities, so she's not. But it worked for me because yes, she won, but she still she didn't technically take a dive, but according to the record books, yes, she didn't win the match. She didn't win the fight, but for all intents and purposes, she did show Shiva that she can hold her own and kick her ass, and so at least everybody watching and reading got to see the good gal win, but she still had to. She had her cake and ate it too. She won the match, but by surrendering, of course, she also saved her mom, and it was fitting. It was like you said, it was a quaint little tale. I really didn't know as the rounds were going which way it might lean, and obviously it makes sense when you see it all laid out. But yeah, the art definitely was a huge factor in me keeping up with it, because it's a story I probably could have gone back to and flipped through later on to see how it did wrap up, but Sook's art was definitely the star of the show here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I find Black Canary very confusing.
Okay.
Why, she wears a wig?
No, is this Black Canary? So that her mother was the Golden Age Black Canary.
Yes.
And this Black Canary is the Silver Age Black Canary.
Yes.
So this is the same Black Canary that drapes through Green Lantern and Green Arrow with Ollie and okay.
Ollie's lover, Ollie's wife.
In the
I
Birds,
don't know if they're married right now, but often her wife.
and it's also the same Black Canary that was in the Mike Grell Green Arrow series.
Yeah, the Lumber Hunters. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But they made it seem in Birds of Prey, the ongoing that was in the 90s or whatever, that this was a different Dinah.
Well, yeah, because you've got to remember though that was during the whole 0 hour and when with the constant reboot. So
It's so weird.
Yes, they were playing.
Yeah,
loose
that's
with
a
lot of
problem
with
with DC, right? I mean, not a problem per se, like because we're all fine with it. But I'm saying like that's one of the conundrums DC has, right? Of having to constantly
And they made
have crises where they go back and forth between having 52 planets, 52 universes, or multiverse, or no multiverse.
And I forget who drew it. Was it Brett Booth that drew that series? Was it
the Birds of Prey?
Yeah. Who drew
a
it?
ton of different people drew it.
Yeah, it wasn't Booth. I think Ed Bennis was on it for a
Ed
while.
Bennis, yes.
Yep.
But they drew Dinah so young. I'm like, there's no way that this could be the same Black Canary that was with Ollie. Like, how does that?
Bennis is enough said, right? I mean,
yeah. But yeah, Black Canary confuses me. I like the character a lot. I mean, come on, fishnets. But yeah. Yeah.
And it was so. I mean, and she was she's supposed to be such a fierce badass, and she goes and she throws Dinah into the ring steps outside. She takes the corner chair and beats the crap out of her with it. It's just like, bro, like can't you just fair fight? Come on, like you're already kicking her ass. Like you really got to go. And then she
there's like a nod to
rips the wig right off.
Which is a nod to Lucha, right? Unmasking the Luchador is considered a great disgrace.
Yeah,
kind of like that. Like
you're right.
She ripped her wig off, but
You don't fuck with Lady Shiva though.
No, you don't.
Well,
no, she's a badass for a reason.
Fucking beat her.
I mean, both Ollie and Bruce had a problem with Lady Shiva.
Yeah, well, just turn you out too. Now, Vince, we read something both that we were very excited by. I hope you were excited by it.
Yes. Okay, full disclosure.
Okay.
I read the digital copy of this because I was so hot to get my hands on it. I did not receive my physical blind bag edition, so I can't tell you what cover I got. But I will when it finally comes. But Jason and I read Invincible Universe, Battle Beast #1.
Yes.
Written by Robert Kirkman, art by Ryan Ottley, colored by...
band back together.
Yes, and he even says so in the back matter. He's just like, Ryan's real good, and that Hulk series was fine and shit, and all this stuff he did at Marvel was okay, but you're back where you belong. And colored by Annalisa Leoni. I thought I was so jazzed by this issue, but I was really surprised that they didn't recap old stuff. They just reprinted old stuff. Like the Prelude pages are from Skybound X or Skybound 10.
Yeah.
Number 25. Yeah. Like they're right from that book. Mm-hmm. And they just took off the to be continued and just continued it. So it's like, okay, I guess Kirkman can do what he wants to do. But savage, brutal fucking book. If you don't know, Thok of Dorne is the Battle Beast, and he has eradicated any kind of strife on his own planet because he is a fighter of massive renown, destroys all contenders. So there's a utopia on this planet. So in order for him to save that planet and from his own rage, he leaves and he goes on a universal quest to find the ultimate opponent. And he uses the computer, the ship on the computer on the ship and the computer hates him because he destroyed the crew of which the computer was friendly. Like he says that these are the only people that I've ever considered friends, and you just destroy them. So I hate your fucking guts. So I will do the job that you want me to do, and I will try to find opponents that will kill you. And Battle Beast is like, have at it, bitch. This is what I want. And in this issue, Battle Beast is sent to a planet where this creature's imprisoned in a giant nail, and he lets him free, and the battle rages, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but stuff happens, and surprises pop up, and it continues. But it's all a visual ballet of gore and mayhem and biting and slicing and lost limbs and friggin' carnage. And I loved it. Yeah. I thought it was great.
I mean, Ottley definitely is home. I mean, this is... And listen, Kirkman is no idiot, right?
Right.
I mean, he's so smart about all this. I mean, yes, I know part of it is that Ottley's done with his Marvel exclusive after these bunch of years and is free again. But honestly, and I've seen Kirkman acknowledge this in press the last few weeks. But listen, the Invincible cartoon on Amazon is great. We just finished up the latest season. It is a true adaptation in all ways of the comic, including it being absurdly hyper-violent. I mean, people just get ripped to shreds, and you see every bit of it. Every episode, it's just mass. Like, it's the most violent cartoon I think I've ever seen. And so he's capitalizing on that. And yeah, I think you would enjoy it. It's just great. I mean, they just mass carnage. But this capitalizes off of that. Battle Beast is in the cartoon, as you would expect, and it's just hyper violence turned up to 1,000, and I just thought it was stupid fun. I loved every bit of it.
That's just so weird to me, because in the Invincible comic, Battle Beast pops up in issue 19, right? First appearance, is looking for an opponent, fucks up Mark and all his buddies, and he's like, peace out, I'm out of here. You guys are not a challenge. I'll see you later. And doesn't come back until well after issue 100. Like, 130, 140, around there. And it's just like, I heard that Battle Beast was like a presence in the cartoon. I'm like, how the freak does that work? Like, how did they write that into the show?
Because, well, I guess spoilers for the cartoon, because when the Viltrumites come to take over Earth, they play on the fact that they know that Battle Beast, as you alluded, his whole reason for being is to have a good fight, to find someone who can actually beat him and kill him.
And that's a fight, yeah.
Yeah, and so they basically say, hey, dude, like, we're about to fight a bunch of Viltrumites, and it'll be a tough fight for you. So he's like, all right, bet, you know. But,
bet. Yeah. Battle Beast says, bet.
Well, he doesn't say bet, but yeah. So I thought it was terrific, man. And, you know, I don't know, like, how long this can go. Like, I don't see this being a 100-issue comic, but I think this could be fun for a while, because Kirkman and Ottley can, I mean, you just think of the different types of creatures and people and beings they can have in battle, but they can do different things. And I would love it, honestly, if at the end he gets killed. Like, I would love that if that's the end.
Oh, I'm hoping that's how it is. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But, you know, Kirkman's, I don't know if I should throw praise Kirkman's way, because why not? This issue's a little on the strange side, because there are moments that it opens up. Like, it's airy in some spots, where it's just like Battle Beast is looking at the nail. And I think it's a double-page spread. And then he's walking towards the nail, and it's this massive panel. And then you see the face in the nail, the imprisoned beast, and it's like another... So it's like there's a slow progression that right before the battle, and then all of a sudden, Battle Beast is like, okay, boom, he punches the nail, and the nail shatters, and this colossus of MCU just starts throwing down with him, and then the panels get smaller, obviously, because the action is faster paced. But I mean, I thought, wow, he's giving us a hell of a breather before this battle, and I thought that the big airy panels were not only strange, but I thought they were kind of ballsy for an issue like this, because once the battle starts, all bets are off. Like the carnage just goes fast and furious, and then something happens, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is going to be a sidekick. And I'm thinking, and then you read that one offhanded comment he makes to the computer. It's like, ooh, may not be a sidekick, but it's totally fitting, right? I don't want to spoil it. People need to read this, but y'all know that I'm talking to people listening. I'm not a huge buyer of singles. I got 4 of the blind bags.
You're nuts.
I want to try and get a neat cover. They weren't any more than the regular issue. So I mean,
you scoffed at the Exquisite Corpse having the polybagged playing cards.
Dude, it's a blind bag. You don't know what you're going to get. And I thought there was some confusion going into it, thinking people were thinking that, you can get a copy of Walking Dead #1. No, you can't. There's just a variety of variant covers, some of which are CGC graded. I don't know how that works. Like, how do you have a CGC graded book in a blind bag in your hand and not know that it's a CGC graded book? Like,
yeah, that's weird to me.
It's just strange.
How can it wouldn't hold its grade if you take it out of its shell.
Even if it's in the same kind of shell. Like, I would think that in order to preserve the mystery behind it.
But if it's in the shell, you would know that that it would stand out from everyone.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I will have a couple of more than a couple of stabs at getting a variant cover. Maybe one. There's a foil signed one that I think would be really cool to have. I don't care, because I'm getting this in singles, and for the remainder of the run, I will be picking it up in singles, which is really strange for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Battle Beast #1 was really good.
It was.
And in Kirkman's tried and true fashion, it's mostly below the belt, just action, bloodshed, widespread gutting and ripping and stuff. But there's a component where it's like characters reveal who they are. So it's like, okay, this makes sense. It widens the universe. Like, this is not the only planet in the universe. There are a multitude of planets in the universe, and that is one of them that this thing is from. And it's just, I don't want to just ruin it all for you, but there's reasoning going on. There's a world building going on here. It's not just like, let's rip this thing apart and win. It's a big part of it. It is. It's a big part of it. But Battle Beast #1. I just love the design of the character. I always did.
Agreed. Yeah.
If Todd makes a
like
Battle
Beast,
it
was a hell of a good week.
I don't know if he did make Todd made a Battle Beast figure, but if he ever does, I will buy it. And I don't buy Todd's figures anymore, because they're just too damn expensive.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Hey, you know what? We love you so much. We're going to tell you an inside track on to where to get your favorite OGNs, trade paperbacks, graphic novels, and omnibus editions and manga at rock bottom prices, and it's cheapgraphicnovels.com. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Just remember, if you want to hear anything we said in the beginning of the episode, well, you have the ability to go back and listen to it. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Thank you to Jason Fisher, our new patron. We would love you to check out our Patreon, which is patreon.com/11 o'clock comics. A whole lot of stuff happening there. And wherever you're listening to this, leave us a review. We would appreciate it. Star system, word system, we don't care. Just leave us a review. It does a lot of good.
Show us love, people.
Yeah, show us some love. In your travels, I have not been hearing a whole lot of hubbub about this. It was one of the very few Kickstarters that I actually threw money at recently. It's from Strangers Publishing. Strangers, right? Publishing. We all know. It's written and illustrated by Connor McCann. It's called Demon Summoner Gash. And it is friggin' awesome, dude. It is amazing. Because it's a Kickstarter, I didn't get my physical copy yet, but I did get a PDF or a digital file. And so I read it, and I wait, let me clarify. I opened it, and I looked at the first couple pages, and I ended up reading the whole thing. Whatever you want to take away from that, do it. It's about a brother and sister, Mason and Matilda Marrow, which are self-professed scum witches in this seaside town. Picture, I hate this. It's like this by way of this. I hate doing that, but I think it's the fast track to getting you to understand exactly what this is. Think street trash by way of Nickelodeon's Chowder, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Bloodsucking Freaks, The Misfits. It's like this psychobilly dark. It's very dark, very violent as well. There's a lot of magic in it. It's dense and it's savage and it's schizophrenic, but it's this complete chaotic little universe where these two kids are trying. They have a past. Again, don't want to spoil it. They have a past where they did something, and now the thing that they did is coming. The piper must be paid, right? But there's this group called the West Side Butcher Boys, and and Mason steals a severed head from this group in order to bring it to a Mr. Pickle, which is this Ronald Reagan looking clown spider who can suck data or experience from remains, and he reads the severed head, and he can tell what the dead person knew, but the head bears the sigil of a centipede, which is this centipede Golgotha character, and Mr. Pickles wants nothing to do with it, but Mason's like, no, you gotta read this head because I really need the information, and Mr. Pickles like, well, it's gonna cost you. And Mason's like, okay, I'll give you a finger. And Mr. Pickle's like, no, you'll give me 2 fingers. And he cuts his fingers off to get the information from the spider. And the Gash is a magical system. I get that it's fucked up and weird and dark. And there's bits of text that just, they have a buddy who's called Felix Muldoon. And you get 2 pages of just like Felix Muldoon, and this is what he likes. it's crazy. And there's a traitor in their midst. People take chainsaws to body parts, and they keep walking. Like, what is going on here? But that's only in the first 40 pages. Like, this thing is almost 250 pages of just the same. It's awesome. Get it. Strangers Publishing, Demon Summoner Gash. Visually, it is a tour de force. I love every bit of it. There's a giant sailor building. It's shaped in the structure of a sailor, and it catches on fire, and it's horrific, and it's just nuts. It's the best. I love indie comics, and I love imperfect comics. I don't know how you want to define that. I really hate it when someone says, oh, it's a good movie, but it's flawed. What the fuck do you know about flawed? And why do you get to say that it's flawed? Like, I hate that. But I mean, it's imperfect in the sense that it's produced in a way where every aspect of it was not super finely controlled and revised and judged by a committee and revised again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is off the cuff, beautiful Magic with a K based splatterpunk comics. I love this book. I'm sure you're going to hear about this book. I love it so much you're going to hear about this book when we do the Oscars next year.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Strangers Publishing, Demon Summoner Gash. You can see images from it, some of them, not too much, because I want you to go buy the book, in our gallery on 11o'clockcomics.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. I am not going to go deep on this because it's only the second issue, and it wasn't it moves the story along, but it doesn't really. We don't delve too much into what makes people tick. But I was National School Killer, Serial Killer by Wagner and Hillyard and Madsen. Continues the story of our resident fashion school student and her attempt to kind of let her guard down to make friends, accept the people that she has met to be her friends. And actually, she is so moved by the actions of or what happens to Sophie, a situation that Sophie kind of doesn't put herself in, but is taken advantage of, and Rennie does what Rennie does, which I was happy to see. So it's I really just like Hilliard's art, and I like Wagner's characters, but there were a few moments of silence in this one issue for people who were no longer at the school with the school, and of course the instructor is still all decked out, dressed to the nines, looking fine. But yeah, this is I'm concerned how things might play out, but of course the way Wagner stories usually end up, I might not have cause to worry. But yeah, it's a great looking book. It's fun. It's as weird as the title is that you could call this book fun, but I like it a lot. Second issue, and in your travels, I was a fashion school serial killer.
Before you move on, I see you read You'll Do Bad Things #2.
I did.
The second issue did not hook me as strongly as the first.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
I thought it was a bit of a lull.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was bad.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
I definitely. It's like it's almost like if they decided to make this. If they beefed up the first issue and added some of the second issue, I think it might.
Yeah, because you really don't learn all that much more in the second issue.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, Seth's having problems. Here's his relationship with his publisher, which we already knew about in the first issue. Like, I don't know. Nothing really. There wasn't anything that led you to believe that he's causing the murders. Or his writing's causing, like, it was just like, okay, we're just going to drag this out until the third issue.
Exactly, yeah. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
All just to get to the last page, basically.
Oh, like, the last page was like, yeah, okay, thanks.
It was at the start, but yeah.
Right about that thing. Yeah.
Show me more of that. That's
Jesus. Yeah, but again, I think, I don't want to tap Tyler Boss in the nuts. I thought this issue, it was, I didn't dislike it. It just didn't move me as much as the first issue. Like, when you're scratching your chin, like, what's going on here? This was just like, all right, what are you taking a breather? Like, come on, move this story along.
It's like the second issue.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
In your travels, since Vince is racing us out of here tonight, I guess he's got somewhere to be. I got a couple things I want to mention.
You could spend as much time as you want. I thought you're the ones like, oh, we got no time limit. We can edit whenever we want. I'm just like, okay, I guess you guys are done with your stuff. But if you want to drag it out for another hour, I'm here for it.
Couple things. First of all, we are all loud and proud fans of Zoe Thorogood. As I think many people that that share our fandom of her know that she tragically lost her brother last year to suicide, and she's been very public about that. So it's not like I'm airing grievances. And she is trying to do what she can to make sense of that, and so she's got an Indiegogo campaign right now called Happy for Charity. She has already donated more than $10,000 to several UK-based mental health charities in honor of her brother, and she's now got this Indiegogo to raise additional money, and essentially she is offering a brand new custom holographic print of a drawing she did of herself sitting drawing. Very meta, and I believe it's $33 US, 25 British pounds for the print, and then she's got like some remark options and stuff beyond that. But basically, she's raising more money for a great cause and something I wanted to make sure I shout out. So the easiest way to find is just to do a Google search for Indiegogo, and then either her name Zoe Thorogood or Happy for charity, and it'll come up pretty quickly, and you'll find it. But definitely consider that if you have the means and the interest in doing that. Before I do my book in your travels, I did want to also mention that the Eisner Awards, the nominations came out today. I know Vince is riveted. I'm surprised he didn't already break it down category by category. But listen, I love it, and I love it because a lot of the things that we have celebrated over the last year get recognition, and some of our friends in the industry get recognition. And so I wanted to shout out a few things. At top of the list, one of the nominees for Best New Series. No, it's Uncanny Valley by our good friend Mr. Tony Fleece and Dave Wagner. How fun is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. So kudos to our booze on that. Just again, some categories had some stuff that we were super into. For international Asian Best U.S. edition of International Asia, Tokyo These Days is nominated. Vince, all 3 volumes. That better win. Because
freaking better win.
Yeah, I read 3 of the 6 things and they're good, but Tokyo These Days was too special not to win.
Yes.
Best U.S. edition of International Material Non-Asia has got some great stuff. I'm rooting for Sunday by Oliver Schwerin from Fantagraphics.
Nice.
One of my favorite categories this year is Best Adaptation from Another Medium. And the 2 things I'm pulling for hard there are The Hidden Life of Trees by Wolleben and Flau, and The Road by Manu Larsenet, who obviously adapted Cormac McCarthy's book. Best Graphic Album is just jam-packed. It's Final Cut, Lunar New Year Love Story, My Favorite Thing is Monsters Book 2, Sunday, and Victory Parade. Got to go with Final Cut there in terms of what I'd like to see win. The Best New Series that Uncanny Valley is nominated, I got to admit, even though I'm going to be rooting for our booze, I think they got a tough road to hoe. They were up against The Pedestrian, The Power Fantasy, Minor Arcana, and wait for it, both Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman. So that's a killer category right there. That is a tough one. But fingers crossed, right? In terms of the creators, shout out to the Best Writer nominees. We are fans of all of them. The aforementioned Mr. James Tynion IV, I guess he has had a few other things go well for his career so far beyond this new book. Jean Lewin Yang, Kelly Thompson, woot woot, Ram V, and it's nice to see Tom King finally getting some recognition. This is, I think, only his 80th Eisner nomination, and this would be, I think, his 3rd win if he wins this. I think it would be Tynion's 3rd win as well. I think they both won it twice. Best Writer Artist, you've got Charles Burns, who I'm certainly rooting for both Final Cut Comics and Unwholesome Love. Emil Ferris, John Macy, Oliver Schwerin, Paco Roca, and John Macy. So there I'm pulling for Burns pretty heavily. Best Penciler Inker or Penciler Inker Teen, you've got Bilquis, Evely for Helen of Windhorn, Felipe Andrade for Rare Flavors, Javier Rodriguez for Zatanna, Bring Down the House, Manu Larsenet for The Road, Nick Dragata for Absolute Batman, and Liu Pham for Lunar New Year Love Story. AKA, this is the Felix Comic Art category. Four of the nominees are Felix artists. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of others, but those are the ones I wanted to shout out. I will say the most mystifying category for me is Best Continuing Series, so basically Best Series. The nominations are, and I'm going to minimize the shade throwing, but I will just read the nominations off. Department of Truth, I get that, right? Makes sense. Wonder Woman proper, not Absolute Wonder Woman, I get that as well. And then we have Detective Comics, Fantastic Four, Ultimate Spider-Man, and Santos Sisters, which I found fascinating, actually. So yeah, so hat tip to all of you that were nominated, those that I shouted out and didn't shout out. Again, I think overall it's a really interesting list of creators and books, as is typical. Okay, now on to the In Your Travels thing I want y'all to read. I feel in a way, relax, bro. You said I could go for an hour. 10 minutes.
Relax at the beginning, relax at the end. I love it.
I feel like I'm giving this short shrift to talk about this in Your Travels, but I have it here queued up, so I'm going to talk about it.
What is it?
And it ties into, I'm getting that. It ties into our conversation, 2 weeks ago on the relaunch of Heavy Metal. You mentioned this creator at the time because we were regaling Metal Hurlant's origins and the amazing creators that really powered that in its early days. And one of those creators was none other than Caza.
Yeah, you're doing short shrift by doing an In Your Travels on that.
I know. But Caza is one of right up there, I think, with Jordie and Mobius and others that
I agree
are foundational European graphic novelists, right?
Yeah.
And for all of the work he did serialized in Metal Hurlant, he considers his magnum opus to be Arkadi and the Lost Titan, which he published through Humanoids as well, starting in 1989, and he worked on the series for 20 years, finishing it up in 2009. And you might be wondering, well, why haven't I ever heard of this? Well, for reasons they actually get into in the opening material, they never were able to reprint it and publish it in English because I guess during the period that he was working on this over those 20 years, the world switched from traditional coloring to digital coloring, and there was some kind of, and I'm not quite sure on the details here, but there was some kind of technical snafu that made it for a long time near impossible for him to get all of the artwork back in complete form and look right. But through the powers of modern technology, they were finally able to get it all back together and get all of the colors normalized. And thanks to Humanoids doing an awesome Kickstarter last year, they created a wonderful oversized hardcover of this that is now available in stores or if you didn't back the Kickstarter. But it's 528 pages and 20 years of this guy's career, which is why I say I feel a little bad about making this in Your Travels. But I knew nothing about this other than what I could see from the solicit material in the Kickstarter and knowing who Caza was, and my God, it is right up there with all of the other great stuff. Am I going to sit here and tell you that it's better than the Inkle? No, because the Inkle's like one of one, right? But do I think spiritually and aesthetically and stylistically and from if you're grading on a curve of creativity and like psychedelic wildness that you wouldn't expect to see, is it up there with that and Droyer's stuff and anything else you want to pick from that era? Absolutely, it's totally right up there with all of it. And I don't want to get into the nitty gritty here. But I will say, just to set the scene, it is a massive long form sci-fi masterpiece where it takes place on Earth 10,000 years in the future because of climate change and destruction. The Earth stopped rotating long before, so you've got a dark half of the Earth, a light half of the most of the world is dead now, can't live on the dark half. And we were introduced to it, just a series of characters. Some are perfect humans that are kind of like the new elite living underground in this perfect city that's maintained and managed and protected and organized by cybernetic beings, including the kind of the AI supercomputer boss of it all called Hell, living somewhat of a fake panaceaed life, and then above ground you've got these world full of mutants and monsters and barbarian like tribes because there's no technology anymore up there. And the title of the book, Arkadi, refers to the son of Arcadis. We first meet Arcadis and his love, and then from there Arkadi is born and he becomes the lead in the story. And he goes on a journey basically he comes into contact with some of the beings from Dis, which is this perfect city, because they leave the city in search of this robot who is a Titan, and he's basically the city's poet, and he's escaped, and the these perfect humans living in this kind of like bubble, literal bubble, are just apoplectic that they lost their poet, so they create these other androids to go out into the real world and try and find this poet. And Arkady ends up running into them and going through all these trials and tribulations, and craziness ensues from there as these two worlds collide, quite literally. But it's an amazing work. It's a work that, it took me, I was reading it on and off for 3 weeks. This is not something you can or should just sit down and read in one sitting. It would be insulting to do so. The artwork is just gobsmackingly beautiful, just painted, incredibly detailed work like we're used to from these European greats. There's nobody on the planet that puts the work and detail into art these days like these guys did back then. And I just feel, very fortunate that Humanoids was able to make this project a reality for us English speakers, right, who never got a chance to enjoy it before. And this, if you have any interest in that era of European greats or bande dessinée or heavy metal and hurlant, you got to check this out. This is a must own. It belongs on your bookshelf. It's beautiful. You can get a slipcase version, or the non-slipcase version is a gorgeous oversized hardcover in its own right. And you got to check it out. So it's the book is called Caza, Arkady, and the Lost Titan. He gets top billing. Some people think the book is like the title of the comic is Caza. No, he's the creator, but it's available everywhere, and you gotta own this. This is something that needs to go on your shelf.
I know. I need to buy it.
You do, and I haven't checked if it's on our if it's on Cheap Graphic Novels. I hope it is. If it is, get it there.
I'm going to. Yes. I want to get this off our list because it's on all of our lists. And we talked about it, I think, a good amount in the past. Yeah, we'll just extend the episode. But all of us read One World Under Doom, issues 3 and 4. Like, we're up to date on this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Each issue hurts. It really does.
I will say,
because I'm thinking what could have been, what could have been.
Right.
But you gonna tell me I was right after we talked about the first.
But the fourth issue, though, I feel because there weren't a lot of there weren't a lot of human faces. I feel like the fourth issue was the best Silva's looked.
Well, I guess I'll give you that, but that's not saying much. Like,
I know
the fourth issue was basically just Doom and Dormammu, so he didn't really have a whole lot of But there's a stretch in issue 3 where it's like Wanda transforms into 3 different women in 3 different panels. It's like, what model sheets, my friend? Get them, use them. I don't know. But the thing that gets me is that I think that there's a lot of grist for the mill in this series. Like the fact that, who knows if you're both going to agree with me, but the heroes are not acting very heroic in this book.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, they're not.
To go to all of the world leaders and just crack their minds open and just extract information because they need to know. Didn't Charlie get in trouble for that a while back? And Emma, like, that's not something that you just do. Like, especially to anyone, that's not cool to just peer into their brains just because you can. But in issue 3, like, they're just like, oh yeah, we need to see if Doom fucked over all these heroes. Maybe he mind manipulated them into falling in line with him. And let's go find out. And so they go to all the world's leaders and they basically mind rape them into discovering whether or not Doom had any kind of underhandedness in his talks with them, and turns out Doom didn't. But extracting that information, I think, is not something that the heroes of the Marvel Universe should be doing.
And they're also like,
do you agree with me with this?
No, I do.
Yeah.
It was.
It's a tough road to travel because we're talking about Dr. Doom, traditionally the bad guy. But in this instance, like, he hasn't really typified himself or his past actions. Like, he hasn't really done anything that would require the combined might of the Marvel Universe. Like, what? I think the villains are just butthurt because Doom is like the good guy in this situation. So it's like, fuck it. We're just gonna come down on Doom. And MODOK's like, yeah, I'll help you. Like, why? Why are you helping attack Doom? Like, the guy is doing good things. Universal healthcare. Everybody makes a good amount of money. Like, the color of your skin is not a detriment anymore. Oh, this is great. I don't know, dude. I don't think I'm holding out hope that Ryan North doesn't take the dive and make something corrupt within Doom's actions. Like, it is mainstream comics, so probably he'll do that in the future, but I'm really hoping that he could make this such a good miniseries, an atypical miniseries where it's just like, yeah, this guy has the smarts to change the world. He realized it. Yes, he's very vain, and he demands fealty from his subjects. I get it. It's Dr. Doom. But if the price is kissing Doom's ass and he makes a utopia on the planet, like, is that a huge price to pay? I don't know.
Yeah, well.
What?
There's a little something called free will, which is, I mean, again, every fascist leader of all time believes they're doing what's right for them.
Wait, but there's no indication that Doom would come down on someone just for expressing their opinions. Because the hero,
in the first issue, we see that he literally dispatches with anyone that disagrees.
Dispatches. What does dispatches mean?
Well, he's magic. I mean, it's basically they cease to exist, right? I mean, that's basically he just dispels them, puts them off into another dimension.
I don't remember that scene, but I'll go back and look at it. But I mean, the heroes are flinging plenty of derogatory comments against him, and he's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I got this.
I don't know, man. Like, I think we live in a world where everyone believes in personal freedom, and so I think the whole point here is that what if totalitarianism really is good? And I think that I would be stunned if Ryan North's conclusion of the series is like, yeah, it really is good. Like, we should have let him just be the guy.
Well, I totally agree with you that we live in a world where everyone believes in freedom, but how many of us actually have it?
I mean, that's an existential question, but we all have a hell of a lot more freedom than anyone does in this world that Doom's running right now.
Okay. We'll see how much freedom we have.
Well, okay. I mean, like,
no, I'm just saying, right?
We're twisting and turning here. The point is that in the MCU or the Marvel universe, in the 616,
in the 616, yes, people have freedom,
and
it's all over the place. You trip over freedom. Yes.
Yeah.
But in issue 4, Doom apparently did not maintain the wards to keep Dormammu from invading our dimension, and Dormammu invades, as he would do, right? Because he's Dormammu. And
they made Dormammu more formidable than I've ever remembered him being before, which I like to
He should be formidable, though.
Yeah,
right.
Sure. But I'm saying, like, he makes light work of Doom for the most part until Doom finally outsmarts him. But
yeah,
he's kicking his ass legit for most of the issue.
He is. I thought the Snicked panel was like.
Yeah,
I just want to pretend that that doesn't exist.
Yep.
You're so silly. But yeah,
you're the Sorcerer Supreme. You're fucking Doom, and your gotcha is to manifest magical Wolverine claw.
Yeah, I don't.
They even put the Snicked in there. It's like,
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Doom would say Snicked.
I love me some Wolverine.
Sure, I get it. I totally get it. But I thought that panel was like, oh boy, like what are you doing?
I'm with that though. Like, I think the art in this issue looked okay to me. Like, I wasn't bothered by the art.
It's too digital. There's too much digital bullshit going on.
There is a lot of effect. I agree, but like,
sure,
I didn't. Yeah.
But at least with the 4th issue, you've got Dormammu who's just lines and fire, and Doom who's in armor. So I mean, it was the best looking issue of the bunch.
But, no doubt.
And even the Wolverine panel wasn't horrible. Then you got the last page with all the heroes. It wasn't bad, but yeah, there's when you look at the 3rd issue where you got Arcade and I don't know, I didn't realize that was Madeline Pryor in the splash page because it was Auburn, and then I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wanda 1, Wanda 2, and Wanda 3.
Women get their hair highlighted all the time. Dan.
Yeah.
Especially in between panels. Absolutely.
Yep. But can we put a pause on Arcade for a long time?
Please.
Can we please?
Seriously.
Please. I mean, every now and then you want to do a little fun, little crazy murder house. Yeah, that's fun. Every now and then, little John. But like, can we stop trying to make him like he's like one of the like preeminent villains?
Exactly.
Now watch this motherfucker be in the last teaser scene at the end credits of Fantastic Four. Watch.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Like there has to be there has to be a reason why they're using Arcade. But back in the day, I'd be like, oh, Arcade's popping up an X-Men. Yeah. Claremont really didn't have anything to say this issue, so he just fucking threw Arcade.
Like Bird's like, I want to draw somebody with a big bow tie.
Yeah.
By, I don't know why I ever would have had any question at all. Of course, Max has Arkady and the Lost Titan available. Of course he does.
Oh shit!
$74.99.
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah.
What is it? $100 list?
85.
Oh, it's still less than
12% off.
So, I still like this series. I'm hoping that, but it is a Marvel series, and it's probably going to dash all my expectations on the rocks by the end of the last issue. So I'm perfectly, I'm waiting to be disappointed, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm only reading this, continue to read the series so that I can get to the end and laugh at you and say I told you so. That's what I'm waiting for.
One, that's hurtful. Number two, it's probably going to happen.
Yes.
If I had good money to lay down on a bet, I would bet in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because I like to hope, but I am a realist at the end of the day.
Yep.
What else do we have on our list that we didn't? Did you say yep, like no, you're not, but you think you are, or
wait, what?
So you do think I'm a realist?
Well,
see, I was really confused.
Depends on what subject we're talking about.
Yeah,
I think you're a realist about like many things. I think obviously other things.
I think we should just move on because I don't kind of like where this is going.
No, I mean that's why I love you. You're
I'm insane. I'm a nut, is what you're saying.
You're a complex creature.
Yeah, complex. That's what we call whatever. Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here with us one more time. We hope you come back because you know what? We'll be here. Get yourself to a comic shop. Spend some money on paper. Don't care if it's a physical shop or if it's an online shop. Who cares? Get yourselves some comics. Read them, love them, enjoy them, hopefully. And you go online, you talk to like-minded individuals, and you know what? It increases your enjoyment of the comics. We'll be talking about them. Come back. We'll have a space set out for you. In the meantime, say good night. Are you kidding me? Did I fuck up? I did fuck up. Hang on. I fucked up. No, stop. Say good night. David.
Night.
You know what? I seriously, no lie, if either one of you say, yeah, I fucking hate the B-52s, this show would be very much over.
Nah, of course not, dude.
How could you hate the B-52s?
I agree.
One of my favorites.
I don't want to put those kind of restrictions on people, but I mean, if you got something to say about the B-52s, I don't know if I could be your friend. I really don't.
That's facts.
David, yeah, no, every once in a while I'll just randomly play a song and Renee will shoot me a look, but other than that, it's yeah.
B-52s? What? I'm gonna have to cut her off the Christmas list. I don't have a Christmas list.
You might have,
but if I did,
I mean, no, it's one of those things. I mean, first of all, it's definitely not music she grew up listening to. So
doesn't matter.
I can't fault her for that. But as quirky and fun as I love their catalog. Whenever one of the songs are playing, she'll make up her own lyrics and shit like that. So it's fun for me to listen to her try to sing along. But I don't know. We all have our quirks, man.
I mean,
every diamond has a flaw, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, she's pretty and everything, but I don't know if she's that pretty. She can shit on the B-52s. Okay. All right, everybody. We love you so much, and we hope you come back next time. Tell them that you love them.
Love them so much.
And we'll see some of you in Heroes next month. As we keep reminding you as we get up to it.
That's it for that one.